I didn't write this list. So it's not just me, you know what I mean? So I got to get your opinion on this. So I'm going to just do a roll call real quick. First, one of the first coaches to ever coach Slamball, Coach H. What's up with you?
Man, listen, anytime I can get on a video, a podcast, a show, whatever else it is, anytime we can have a party with you guys right here, I am here. I'm just happy to get the invites, Dan. I'm just happy to be here. I'll tell you that much. About 4 months ago, I took the job to be the technical director for the NBA basketball school in Dubai. And listen, speaking about faith, I remember when they called me and offered me the job, I always paced the living room. Basically, I'm not really arguing with God. I'm just like, come on, man. Like this, like, I got to go to Dubai. Like, come on. I'm walking back and forth and everything else. And then I'm like, I stopped after like 5 minutes. I sat down. I was like, all right, God, I'm gonna walk through that door, right? I'm going to walk through that door. So basically, NBA basketball school, I oversee 15 coaches. We've got 450 plus athletes.
But to be out there with the NBA and doing your thing, man, that's a blessing, bro. Like, and that means a lot to what you give to the game, your knowledge that you give to the game. So hats off to you, Coach.
Well, I appreciate it. I always just say, you happen to be at the right place at the right time. And again, I really think it's just walking through the door of opportunities, no matter what it is, no matter where it is, or you just go through it and just see what it is. But it's great. I mean, Dubai's great. It's great weather right now. I just got, I just flew in. It's a 16-hour flight. So, NBA basketball school, I still do a lot of work with game-changing films. I'm one of their minority owners, so still have some production stuff, even though, as you know, it's a little slow in the production world with everything else. And still, until I'm told otherwise, I'm the head coach of the bus stop. So that's, I mean, until there's a drastic change, those are all the things that I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
Straight up. We got Rodney. Now, Rodney, in my opinion, is one of the game changers from the stopper position. And Coach, you was coaching him at one point.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, you had him back there. Like, okay, we good. We got Bond back there. We good. Rodney Bond, man, I appreciate you coming in. What's up with you, bro?
Man, doing good. I'm ecstatic to be here. Happy to see you guys. Looking forward to see you guys in person in the future. Very soon.
We'll just get right into this. So I go to Rodney Bond first. So Adam Sanford at number 30. I think he came a little bit later, right?
Yeah,
in training camp. Yeah. So we had already saw the Super 24, and then we saw the other guys kind of pile in, and he was part of that second wave of guys that came in. And, he has a basketball background, and, he plays professionally, so he can get a job. But Rodney, what did you see in a guy like Adam Sanford when you first saw him?
Now, when I first saw Adam, I was thinking a big handler, because he's about 6'3". He's pretty much my height, but he's long, athletic, and I would think he would be physical, with his size. But when we got to the Slamball floor as a handler, he really didn't have that. I don't want to say IQ, but the knowledge of when to pass the guys, on the tramp and to catch them on the lob and all that stuff. It wasn't where we needed it to be. So him attacking as a gunner was more suited for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that too. Like he caught onto the quick bounce pretty easily. That was his kind of go-to thing. Like, he can just get off the spring pretty fast and go straight to the rim. I didn't see him get up too high or change up the pace a little bit. And so, Adam, when you see this, I hope that's something that you work on next time, like changing up your pace of, because Rodney, if somebody came at you fast every single time, you know how to time that up.
At the time, every time, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think pace is so important. The type of pace you play, and I think fans don't really understand, as we talked about before, just the Slamball court in itself. Just it is a little harder to get your footing when you first are running on that floor, because there's a little give. Well, more than a little give while you're running, and there's the noise of the floor. But Adam definitely is someone who he will benefit from changing the pace, how he enters into the tramp. And then, of course, how he finishes, like you guys said, the trajectory, going high, going straight, going low. How can he do it to get more consistent finishes in order for him to get to that next level?
Knowing when to pass and when not to pass, making better decisions. Those were the main things. And just being able to read the stopper's time. Because he would always go quick, like we said. But a lot of times that wasn't there. And if he could have actually did a better job of reading the stopper's timing, he would have been able to finish, at a higher percentage. He started getting much better on the tramp to where he could transfer and take off from pretty much any tramp and finish. Just tell him, man, just get the ball and go. But like I said, sometimes that was to a fault also.
Number 29, ranked Jaetuan Williams.
Okay, so Jaetuan, definitely, like you said, he started off shaky. He started off like most, real shaky and everything in those traps. So once he got to me, because I had an eye on him as far as one of the handlers, because he was pretty aggressive, and once his bounce off the trap was just too explosive, like one of the best, period. So I knew he had some upside to it. He just needed a little fine tuning.
Yeah, he was always one of those guys when you play against the Rumble, is that I think the Rumble had guys that you weren't sure who was going to catch fire. They unfortunately had an inconsistent season, but you could see after game 5, 8, 10, I mean, you're seeing them slowly getting up there and slowly finding their groove and really finding their identity. And Jaetuan was someone that you didn't really want him to get into the tramp. He was someone that I know from a coach standpoint, we were like, hey, when he gets in, we could be physical with him a little bit and really knock him down and for him to get back up. But he was someone who, as time went on, you're like, hey, we got to watch out for Williams because he's not someone that you want to go ahead and get him going. Like a lot of players on the Rumble, you don't want to get them rolling and then all of a sudden they have like 30 points. And he was one of those guys who could do that anytime and you have to watch out for it.
From watching him in all the other games, we designated him as the guy that we let go. Now, we played the Rumble a little later in the season, so obviously he had gotten better, and we still left him as one of the guys to let go, but he was able to get, a few dunks off. So he might have not been the guy to let go once we got to him.
But he had to show you first, though, right? There we go. Whitney, you back.
First of all, man, like I said, yes, he did start off pretty slow, but it's a lot of cats that I know that started off pretty slow and ended up being some of the best players to play the game. Not myself, obviously. I got it from the start, but like I said, once I got a hold of Jay, he took it up a whole nother level. He really wanted to play this game, and compared to half of these handlers in the game, besides Tony Crosby, there's not too many better than him, period. I had to give him a little fine tuning. He listened. He's very coachable. And like I say, he showed me a lot of stuff that he was really wanted to be a true Slamball player. And he had all the tools for it. That 29, nah, come on now, 29 out of 30? And like I say, he's behind. I'm gonna give it to Tony because Tony Crosby as far handler position and doing a handler what they supposed to do. Wasn't too many better than him. Period. And when this next season come and he play, I guarantee he gonna show it. Long as he in my hands, he's definitely gonna show you. I put him behind, like I say, behind Tony Crosby. Nobody else on the handler position is above them two right there. This is what I'm talking.
Okay. This is why his Wi-Fi is off all the time. This is why he keeps jumping in and out of the Wi-Fi. But I love it because he is back in his play. He is back in his player. He is doing what he is supposed to do, and I respect that. Number 28, Malik. Coach, tell me, what do you think about this player?
One of our only hybrid guys on the list.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, he was a late round draft pick for us. And he definitely had to play stopper because our first pick, Taekwon, ended up getting, banged up a little bit earlier in the preseason. And Malik was like, Coach, I got this. Now, the crazy thing is that all their training camp, I'm thinking that Malik had played college basketball. So I go ahead and pull him to the side. I'm like, hey, man, like, where'd you play basketball? He's like, coach, I didn't play college basketball. I said, what? He's like 6'7", 195. I was like, well, what'd you play? He goes, oh, coach, I played football. I was a safety. I said, man, get the hell out of here. Man, get out of here with that. Are you kidding me? He's like, no, coach, for real. And he just got me. From day one, we had our team meeting, and he was already talking mess. He was talking like how no one's going to be able to touch us and everything else. And he came and he just showed we could do playing stopper, had to play gunner, was always talking to our guys, was always talking to the other guys, leading, doing everything that he possibly can. I mean, his inspiration comes from his kids, and the legacy that he's trying to build. And he was just someone who is learning, just like a lot of our slamball guys, learning what it takes to be in the spotlight. If you want the smoke, you got to be ready to do all the things that you need to do. And he's one of those guys who stepped up in that game, that playoff game that we lost to you guys, Stan. Afterwards, he was devastated, and he was devastated. Yes, for the loss, but he was like, coach, I played my worst game of the year. And I said, listen, Malik, it just happens that way, man. It happens. Yeah. But I love coaching that guy. I love him. Even now, he'll hit me up, be like, hey, coach, happy birthday. Hope you and your family are doing well. He's just one of those all-around good dudes that you want on your team, not only because he's talented, but he's just a great, great guy overall. I can't say enough good things about Slim. I just cannot. Love that guy.
The thing about Slim that got me is he wasn't afraid to hit. And of course, that comes from playing football. But he put a couple of guys on their butt a few times. So,
once again, like most, the tramp skills was just all over the place, and the small frame, but obviously compared to myself, I can't really talk about that because I was the same kind of wiry player, just like him, like he was. But
me too.
I mean, he kind of surprised me because he came around at the end. Like I didn't have no faith. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't have too much faith in his slam ball skills. But when I got to watch a few of those buzzsaw games, I was like, okay, he actually put in a little work to actually get better, and so yeah. He in the rankings, in the right area where he's supposed to be. Yeah.
And of course, I could get in the rankings, against Whitney and everything else. But listen, I say, you know what? It's an honor to be here, and that just means we just got to keep on working our way to either a lower number. Right? We want to be a lower number than a higher number. We just keep on working, and he's one of those guys who would say that as well. Like, as you guys know, trying to figure out who to stop on the mob, be like, hey, we're going to stop this guy. We're going to stop this guy. And then all of a sudden, Brandon's scoring buckets, and what he did a really good job is understanding that quick jump right off that side tramp and to read it in order to read that stopper and everything else. And he was just somebody who I mean, we love practicing against him every single day. And I'm not just saying that to be political. They made us better, and hopefully we made them better every single time practice. But Brandon was one of those guys who just quietly, methodically, just kind of learned how to play, got better on the tramp, and just like the mob, got better as the season went on.
Yeah. Right, Rodney, did Brandon kind of frustrate your team too, or was it just me?
He had a couple good games against us and a couple games where he, pretty much didn't do anything. But the thing about him, I didn't know what to expect from him, but I always looked at him as a product of the system. Like, okay, what's coming. You want to stop Dak getting the lives going higher. You want to stop Sam. But then here comes Brandon. And like I said, he killed us 2 games to where, we tried to stop all the other guys, but then he was the one that showed up.
Yeah. And some plays I saw that he made, I really didn't see that coming. For me, 27, I don't know. I'm not sure about 27 out of all 30. Like, I think he should be a little bit higher in the ranks because of we haven't been able to see him take over a game because that wasn't part of his system for him. But do I think he can? I think he can. Like, he's not going to be super flashy, but he's going to get the job done, So if I was to change, I don't know. I would probably rank him a little bit higher. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, not seeing the rest of the list, I cannot say if anybody goes higher. I just really, I mean, I think it's whoever did the list. It's hard to rank players, because everyone handles a whole lot of stuff. Because I think we could say, all right, so if you take Brandon off on the mob and you put him somewhere else, how effective will he be? I mean, Rodney talked about, system player and everything else. And it's true. It's like if you take out certain guys on the team, how would they be on other teams? And I think we have such a small sample size. And I always say, listen, hey, man, you're 27, you're 27. This is, you are what people believe you are. I mean, you can have a high, it's like getting paid, right? People say, no, well, I got paid what I'm worth. Listen, it's the market that dictates you. So if we are going to sit here and do an expansion draft, what would the market say? Brandon Simpson, Slim. Well, you know what I mean? What does the market say? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's right. Number 26. See, now, and this is where things get tricky, right? Because most people probably wouldn't have picked him as high as I picked him. But I needed someone that was handler gunner. Soon as Bradley got out there, I'm talking about the first day he strapped on those shoes and he got on the court, we was doing scrimmages. We was doing like 4-on-4 and 4-on-4. He jumped into the 4-on-4 and it so happened to be him, Tony Crosby, and Alonzo Scott. The fourth guy, I don't know who he was, but they were running the table on the whole practice. And he was one of the standouts. He was a guy he either was making the right pass or making the pass that made the pass, or he was making a score. And that was his first day out there. I was like, yo, I can't deny this guy. Like, this is going to be something with this guy. So that's why I picked him higher than a lot of other guys. He's ranked 26. So that's what the market say. Whitney, what do you say?
I definitely say that was a good pick right there at 26. He could be a little bit higher because, like I said, he grasped the game pretty well that I saw when they played against us. He can really handle the ball. He'll hold his own on the court. Passing, he had the nice package with him. Real sneaky like, because you wouldn't expect that when you see him walk on the court. Obviously, you know what I'm saying, off top. But he gets out there and gets to it. So he definitely in that top 30.
For me, I think he exceeded all expectations from what I initially saw to what, we saw throughout the season. Like you said, he seemed to always make the right pass. He's sneaking in, getting that backdoor lob. It seems like every other trip. He had that feistiness to him. He played hard. He was always on the floor for the loose balls. So he's probably the perfect guy for that spot that you had.
Yeah, I tell you what, I actually, yes, when you drafted him, I was like, what the heck is Dan doing? Because I didn't think he'd be that high. But as the season went on, right, because I think we played each other, 6 times. So we knew that going into the game, you had Tony, you had Amir, those two guys just to watch out for, Alonzo. Now, when we looked at, we're like, all right, who are we going to allow to score? Who do we want? Is it Alonzo? Is it Bradley? And earlier in the year, you could go ahead and pick off some guys and be like, hey, all right, man, let's see if you could beat us. And early in the year, Bradley was one of those guys. And we found was how he would attack the basket, right? Because when he would attack that side tramp, if his eyes were up, he's more than likely going to look to pass. If his eyes were not looking at the rim, then he was going to do that sneaky dunk, quick dunk that he was going to do. But that was earlier in the year. As the season went on, he now could disguise it so much better. So going into that last game, right, against you, it was more like, all right, well, who is it going to be? Because, you guys did a lot of that backside lob. It was slowly coming along. Mm-hmm. You had Amir now playing gunner as well. Like, who are we going to go ahead and allow? And, in any type of great defense, you have to allow something. There isn't a great defense that's going to stop everything. You got to allow something. So you're like, all right, let's see if Bradley's going to go ahead and have a good game. And he had a good game. He had a couple quick dunks. He had a couple backside lobs. I mean, he was playing that all-around game, and you could see the combination of all his hard work and everything else with it. So, I could see him in the next season just being dangerous because he's just sneaky. I mean, he literally is sneaky. And even we talked about pace earlier. Like Bradley plays at he plays at his own, he knows who he is. Like, I'm Bradley, this is how I play, this is how I enter the tramp, and now you have got to stop me. Once I'm in the slam zone, I just know how to read or get a quick dunk over you. So he's one of those dangerous guys who, unfortunately or fortunately, will always be overlooked in his career. But when he's done with his slam ball career, you'd be like, man, that guy just
Put in work
every single time.
Another one of your guys, which I called, this is the mixologist right here.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, if they're going to make a documentary, a 30 for 30 or something on a rags to riches slam ball player, T. Howard would definitely be one of them. Because if you guys recall, we had Michael Kolawole. He was going to be the handler. He went down during the year, and we had to find someone. We had Devontae Pratt, who was good. Ray Taylor, who was our last pick, was coming back from a thumb injury, so he wasn't practicing as well, too. So we had to pick him up. Terrell had submitted stuff, was actually, if I remember this correctly, was either work for FedEx, DHL, or UPS. One of those things. Gets to Vegas, shows up, and we told our guys, I said, we need a guy to practice. So Terrell came on the court, and they didn't know him. And you know, my other coach, Sandy just is talking mess to everybody. So Sandy will go up to every single one of our guys. He goes, you see that new dude? He's about to take your job. He's going to take your job. He'd take your job. He goes, coach isn't messing around. He's picking up anybody off the streets to take your job, right? And I didn't know how he was going to play. And so what I love about Terrell is that he made me a better coach. Because as you guys know, I'm not a huge fan of handlers dribbling from one end of the court to the other side. We got to move that ball quick. Dion Bailey, Josh Carlson, we got to move this ball. And here it is, there's trouble. Dribbles like, boom, dribbling, like, no, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. And lucky for him, and lucky for us, he was really hard-headed. And all of a sudden, he just started making all these moves. He stop, go, stop, go. All my gunners like, coach, should we sprint? Should we not sprint? Like, the gunners had to learn how to go at his. And for us, we want the handler to get out there first. So he was learning all of a sudden the plays. He was learning how to make the right lobs. One of the things now, I believe he led the league in turnovers. Okay, but here's the thing: I told ESPN, actually our whole team led the league in turnovers. But I told them, like, listen, if you notice, I'm telling our players, take chances, throw the heck out of that lob, throw it in the stands, have our guys go up and get it, right? And Terrell's just one of those guys. Then he started learning how to get on the island, fake it, pass to someone, jump to the top tramp, come back in the bottom tramp, and finish. Like, he slowly, just all of a sudden became the big-time glue of our team. And last thing about Terrell, which one of the biggest benefits and honors in my life is to coach Ghetto Boarders, Coach Chris Young, when we're at the Vouchers. And Chris, and I tell him this, and we talked about it, like, he lives with a massive chip on his shoulder, which is what has made him who he is, have made Ghetto Bird. And Terrell plays with the same chip. He plays with that same chip. He wants to go at you. He is trying to prove to you everything. And that's the thing that I really, really respected about him more than anything else. And he stayed true to who he was as a handler, understood what I want to do as a coach, and quite honestly made me a really good coach because of the way he was a quarterback on the floor.
Hey, Terrell has some handles. That's the first thing that stuck out was those handles, actually dribbling it on the slam ball court. Because we don't too much deal with the dribbling on the court because you can get laid out. But the way he had it, like it was a yo-yo on his hand and can still get hit and bounce off and still had a ball in, I like that, So, I mean, I wouldn't advise that on my squad, because no, we don't do all that dribbling. But it worked for what he was put to do, Once again, he's definitely not above Jaetuan. I like him. I like him.
No, and he's gone. You just see what I mean? He just dropped the mic on us right now. This is all I'm saying. This is the slam balls powers that be was like, nope, we're cutting him off. Mute him. Mute him. Mute right now.
I remember me and TA used to sit up top and watch all the games. And whenever he would get the ball, TA would be like, "Here you go, Big Ron, here you go." And then we were just so excited just to see him, break it down, get it to the spring, and then make something happen. Now, when we played him initially earlier in the year, so we only played the Buzzsaws once, he really didn't do too much because he hadn't figured it out yet. So we knew if he got into the springs, he wasn't going to attack. So he would get in there looking to pass, and there was nothing open, so he would turn it over, get stuck on the island or something like that. Well, as he progressed and got better throughout the season, he was a menace for sure.
Yeah, I think overall, I've learned that in coaching, I can't have any expectation, right? It's just the expectation of how they're going to react to what today's practice plan is going to look like. Because really, we have the draft board. We're like, I think this guy's going to be good. I think this guy's going to be good. And then all of a sudden, you're like, oh man, he's not as good as I think. And then that gets in our mind as coaches. No, but I think overall, and not just because it was my team, I just saw this team, this version of Buzzsaw, get better as the season progressed. And I think that was everybody overall with it. I was just more impressed, and you alluded to it earlier, just the way our team came together in terms of chemistry and in terms of just swag, how they just walking in. And just they were really a really, really tight unit. And that was something that I was really, really more proud of more than anything else. Because as you guys know, like, how do you build a team culture in a short season in a sport that very few have been honored to play and coach? Like, how do you do that in that moment? So, like, having Terrell come in late in the season, having our guys, Ray Taylor not being able to practice, Ty Quan Squad not be able to practice a whole lot. How to do that and then still be able to play the way that we were, lucky to play. With it was a huge thing. So I can't say that none of my guys didn't meet their expectation or they surpassed. I think my whole team surpassed expectation because I didn't have an expectation. I didn't know who I had until, you get the ingredients, you just put in that soup, you put in the oven, whatever else it is, you put in the air fryer, and it comes out, hopefully it's a masterpiece. And that's what we had for the Buzzsaw.
Yeah. And I think you guys had the most improved team. So,
yeah. Well,
Rodney,
we talked real quickly. We talked about, I think, during the preseason, we had all these scrimmages. I think we were 1 and maybe 10 or 1 and 8. We were not very successful. I remember going to Sandy. I was like, man, I don't know who we have. First game of the year, we're playing Ozo, and I was like, man, I don't know who we have, what we got. I know we got heart, so let's just see what happens. But no, you're right, man. You're right.
Rodney, same question for you. Did you see something in somebody or, one of your players that you didn't get, or did everyone on your team meet their expectations?
Now, with our team, I felt we underachieved big time because our expectations were much higher than what we finished with. But I would take this same group of guys right now and run it all back. Connor went down early, and I think that helped. That hurt, having him back there. I thought he would have been one of the top stoppers, in the league. We got picked up Jace late, but like I said, if we can run it back with that same group of guys, most definitely.
What's the wildest thing that someone said about Slamball to you?
I think usually when I would tell them, like, yeah, I coach a Slamball team, the very first thing they say, there's coaching in that sport? Aren't you guys just running up and down and just jumping on a tramp and dunking? And I was like, man, I'm not talking to you. You obviously don't. Have you not watched the NBA? All they are is jacking up threes and going back up the court. So don't talk to me about the guys. But yeah, that'll be the crazy. They just don't understand, I think, the philosophies. I think they don't understand the tactics involved. And they really don't understand the skill level it takes to run, jump on a tramp, jump against somebody, and do all of that and still be safe and landing and then going back to play defense. They just don't get it.
I can't say the wildest. I can't recall maybe the wildest, but I get tired of hearing Y'all don't dribble in slam ball, huh? Y'all just run up and down the court, jump on the trampolines, and dunk the ball, huh? No dribbling whatsoever. I said, no dribbling. It's a whole floor. Do you see a whole floor that we got to dribble to get to the trampoline? Are you kidding me? Jeez. Yeah, but that's one of the wildest. I'm tired of hearing that.
The things that I get tired of hearing is they ask about the injuries. I bet guys are getting hurt every play, huh? I'm like, no, not really. I haven't seen too many guys get injured at anything serious.
Yeah.
I've seen guys get more injuries just playing regular basketball than actually playing football.
Shake up, shake up, shake up the game. Shake up, shake up, shake up the game. Shake up, shake up, shake up the game. It's dread talks and derail and shakes kicking game. Shake up, shake up, shake up the game. Shake up, shake up, shake up the game. Shake up, shake up, shake up the game. It's dread talks and derail and shake kicking game. Shake up, shake up, shake up the game. Shake up, shake up, shake up the game. Shake up, shake up, shake up the game. It's dread talks and